What's up YouTube, it's Latios TCG here and welcome to another TCG deck profile video on my channel. By popular demand, today we're gonna check out Ultra Necrozma with Malamar. This is one of the decks that still is very viable and maybe even the best deck in the format after the rotation takes place, so it's a top contender for Worlds. As you know, on my channel you get everything Pokemon related about the trading card game, so definitely be sure you are subscribed so you don't ever miss out, and also click that little notification bell so you get notified immediately when a new video hits the channel. So without further ado, let's talk about Ultra Necrozma. We've already seen it work in standard. It has been performing very well all throughout the world, and after the rotation it loses the least amount of cards. We of course lose the typical stuff like Marshadow, Tapu Lele GX, Guzma, and things like Ultra Ball and Nazball, but this deck is still very viable because Mysterious Treasure still searches everything we want in the deck, and we even get an addition with Cherish Ball, but more on that later. So Ultra Necrozma, this is gonna be 2 copies in this list. This is all you need. Sometimes you just attack with Giratina. This is our beat stick here to just one-shot Tag Team GXs, because with Photon Geyser we dish out 20 damage plus 80 more for every psychic energy we discard, and yeah, we have to discard all psychic energies. So if you have like multiple psychic energies on there, with 2 of them you hit 180, with even an extra one you hit 260, and it goes on and on. Even with things like the Giratina, Distortion Door, we can definitely set up KOs here. So that's why this deck is gonna be still very viable, because it dishes out a lot of damage. And Sky Scorching Light GX, if the total between both players prize cards remaining is 6 or fewer, we can actually dish out 6 damage counters to every one of the opponent's Pokemon, and this is just automatically wins you games against things like Lost March, for instance. So 2 copies of Ultra Necrozma. Following that up, of course, there's no need to explain this. There's going to be a 4-4 line of Malamar. You need the entire tick line, 4-4. Psychic Transfer, you are gonna actually Psychic Recharge. Can get Psychic Energies from the discard pile immediately to your bench Pokemon to just set up our Pokemon. We have, of course, our Ultra Necrozma, which loves its Psychic Energies on there, but we also have alternate attackers, which I'm gonna talk about soon. So a 4-4 line of Malamar is a definite must. Another must is going to be 2 copies of Giratina. It is available as a pre-release promo or as a regular holo. It's a very good card because Rescue Stretcher is now rotated, and this is the only card that can get itself out of the discard pile. With the Distortion Door, it can get itself out of the discard pile and put 1 damage counter on 2 of the opponent's bench Pokemon. So 2 copies of that. Not only that, you also dish out 130 damage. For a 1 price attacker, this is going to be nice to 2-shot Tag Team GXs, because with the help of Distortion Door, you can 2-shot things like Reshizard, Mew and Mewtwo Tag Team GX, and even Mew and Mewtwo Tag Team GX is even weak to Psychic, so that helps out a lot. With Distortion Door, you get a one-hit KO. If they don't get their Giratina GX up and rolling, you're gonna have an awesome time. For alternate attackers, we're gonna be running 1 copy of the Gengar and Mimikyu Tag Team GX. Why is that? Because Poltergeist nowadays will dish out a lot of damage. A lot of players are running Pokegear, are running more supporters than ever before, because Tapu Lele GX is rotated, and that means Poltergeist will sometimes get you an insane one-hit KO for only 2 energies, and Horror House GX can also save you a turn if you want to use that GX move. Another tag team, or actually a tag team killer here, is Latios GX. This is here for the Tag Purge. This is an attack which dishes out 120, and after that you've used that attack, the opponent, this Pokemon cannot get hit by Tag Team GXs. And I do predict that Worlds will be filled with things like Pikarom, Reshizard, Mew and Mewtwo. A lot of tag teams are very viable and very good, and things like Cherish Ball definitely encourage you to play tag teams because they're just so good. And with, of course, 1 copy of Latios, you'll definitely have an edge. You can also get rid of the opponent's GX move entirely with Clear Vision GX. Get rid of their GX move against things like Pikarom. This might happen in the early phase of the game where you just say, I'm just gonna use Latios, attach an energy, use that GX move while you just set up your Malamar on the bench. That way the Tag Bull GX is not even a threat at all. You could also run the Mew from Broken Bonds, but with this Latios, you don't even actually need it at all. Next up is going to be Dedenne GX. Every GX based deck will definitely run 1 or maybe even 2 copies. I'm only running 1 copy in this list because we're also relying on Giratina here, Giratina with Stellar Wish. So these are our consistency cards. This can get searched out with things like Cherish Ball, and these we manually draw into those, and if we happen to start with it, it's fantastic. We also have a lot of switch cards in this list, so that's gonna be good. So this is our consistency cards right there. Moving forward, we're gonna talk about the supporters. Very straightforward. As mentioned, we're going to be running a lot of supporters since Cynthia is no longer around. We're definitely going to be adding those copies up. So 4 copies of Lily, straightforward. It's going to be fantastic if you get this on the very first turn. You can draw cards until you have 8, and then your Inkays will be popping out of your deck in no time. 2 copies of Cynthia. Why only 2 copies? Because we're actually going to be running 3 copies of Green Erica's Hospitality instead. Why more copies Erica than the Cynthia? That is very simple, because a lot of these decks will have a huge amount of bench space. Think about Blacephalon. They have their bench filled with Naganadels. Think about other variants. Think about Pikarom with Tapu Koko, the Dedenne and stuff. Even Beast Box with a lot of Pokemon on the bench. So even in mirror matches, it's gonna be fantastic. This actually draws you more cards than Cynthia. And since we are gonna need, of course, our draw mechanism, we're definitely gonna learn the Erica's Hospitality. Next up is gonna be 4 copies of Mysterious Treasure. The best card in the list, since it almost searches everything from your deck. Everything on the left side you can search out with Mysterious Treasure, so that's fantastic. Discarding 1 card from the hand is also not a downside when you can get, of course, energies in the discard pile to reuse them with Psychic Recharge. We don't have Nazball, we don't have Ultra Ball, that's why we're running 4 copies of the Pokemon Communication. Very easy. That way, if we just we have a lot of Pokemon, sometimes you don't need Latios, sometimes you don't need Gengar, Mimikyu. You just use Communication and just get whatever you want. This is gonna be easy to just search out the correct Pokemon and also get your Malamars on board. Besides that, we're also going to be running 2 copies of the Cherish Ball. We do not run a huge amount of GXs, so obviously we also can work with the Giratina as a non-GX attacker. But we have Cherish Ball to search out the Dedenne in certain situations, to search out Ultra Necrozma, or to just get our Latios when the time is right. So 2 copies is sufficient. You could add it up if you want to, but this is just sufficient for Communication, for Treasure, for 2 Cherish Ball. Then for Gusting, we have to say goodbye to Guzma. So what is an ideal way to replace that? 4 copies of the Custom Catcher. If we have 2 of them in the hand, we can target one of the opponent's bench Pokemon rather easily. And with a Jirachi based engine, we can just use Stellar Wish. We can get out of the active position with cards I'm going to mention later, things like a Skateboard and Switch. And then we can just search for the Custom Catcher. So we only have 4, but sometimes you can just finish the game with, of course, Ultra Necrozma's GX move as well, dishing out 6 damage counters if something is almost knocked out. Then, as mentioned, we're going to be running a lot of switching cards. This is going to be 4 copies. You could turn it up to like 3 copies of Switch and 2 Escape Board, but we only run 2 Jirachi, and with 4 Switch, we will definitely make sure that Ultra Necrozma is not stranded in the active position. Same goes for Gengar and Mimikyu and Giratina. Sometimes you start with them and they're stuck in the active and you don't get energies on them, so you need Switch. We don't have the Guzma luxury here where you can just use target something and just switch as well. We don't have that, so that's why 4 copies of Switch will be the way to go. Moving that up, we're also going to be running 1 copy of the Escape Board. This is just in here. If we have it in the hand, we can equip it to a Jirachi and then it stays there. Field Blower is gone. They could run things like Lysander Labs, but not a lot of lists I've seen lately post-rotation run that. So we just run the Escape Board, so Jirachi has free retreat after it's used its Stellar Wish. And Stellar Wish will get, of course, your supporters. We are having a tick count here. We're gonna have 9 draw supporters. We also have the Dedenne GX, which can be kind of a draw supporter if we happen to find Cherish Ball. So Escape Board for that Jirachi. But it can also happen from time to time where you equip it onto an Inkay to just get out of a nasty situation. Then, a new card, a Reset Stamp. We're gonna be running 2 copies. This will regain games. What do I mean with that? If the opponent is ahead in prize cards and we say like, oh, how do I win this game? With Reset Stamp, we set them back. The opponent shuffles their hand into their deck and draws the same amount of cards equal to their prize cards, and that will definitely make sure that we have the edge here. In certain situations, they will be stuck and nothing left to do. We can even abuse the Sky Scorching Light GX after we Reset Stamp, and we're definitely gonna create 1-hit KOs afterwards. So that's gonna be our main way if we're falling behind early game to just regain our game thanks to Reset Stamp. Definitely get yourself 2 copies in this list. It's very good to say the least. Then our stadium of choice, as there's gonna be 3 Viridian Forest. You could add that up to like a 4th, but I cut one for a Reset Stamp because Reset Stamp is just that good. But Viridian Forest will make sure that we find our energies at the correct time. Not only that, we can also get, of course, our metal energies. We're not gonna be running a lot of metal energies. That's for Ultra Necrozma, and the good thing about Viridian Forest, you can just discard your hand every turn. And why is this good? This will help with the Erica play. Sometimes you just say, oh, I have too much cards in the hand. Well, you use a Treasure, you use the Viridian Forest, and and boom, you can use Erica for a huge amount of cards, and that's why I think Erica is better than Cynthia in this little deck. And next up, we're just gonna finish the list with energy cards. There's gonna be 6 psychic type energy cards. You could add a 7th one if you want to, but you can get them always back with, of course, the Malamar. And with Viridian Force, you can find them easily. With the Dedenne, you can also get them in the discard pile. So I do think this is sufficient to last you through the game. As soon as you get your Malamars on board, these energies will definitely be recycled turn after turn. Then 3 copies of the metal type energy. As mentioned, this is just for Ultra Necrozma, but from time to time you might even use it on a Giratina if they come with things like a Keldeo, if your Giratinas are priced. This is a rare situation, but metal type energy mainly used for Ultra Necrozma for the Photon Geyser. And to finish the list, we have 1 copy of the Beast energy. This will make sure that Ultra Necrozma can get those 1-hit KOs. As mentioned, we are dishing out 180 damage if we discard 2 psychic energies. If we have Beast energy equipped as well, that is going to be 210, and even with an extra energy, that's 290. That means everything will see the discard except for maybe Wailord and Magikarp Tag Team GX, but stall decks are dead. So this is the list for today. Ultra Necrozma Malamar. It was highly suggested by a lot of you guys, so if you are liking the list, be sure to demolish the like button. Let me know in the comment section what you would change about the list, and I will see you guys in the next video. Subscribe for more content like this, and till next time, peace out.